That was so cute. So our library had, like, we installed at this park this permanent story walk. So it'll always be there. The stands are all like set up to be there permanently, and then they'll just swap out the story like around 4 times a year or so with the seasons. And it's just so cute, and I loved the first story they picked, just about summer. Hello everyone. So at the time you are watching this, I am probably about to go on vacation tomorrow. I feel like I have been on the go, out of town, basically this whole summer vacation so far, but on Monday is my first official real vacation. And so this is the start of basically a literary cram week where I try to get all the reading that I want to get done basically before I leave for this vacation.
I'm going to show you what I'll be reading this week, and I'll vlog throughout the week as I try to finish all these things. So, let's see. The first thing is just some books that are unfinished that I would like to finish. The first one is At the Hemingways, which I got when I visited the Hemingways house, which is basically where Anna lived until he was 6 years old. Then I want to finish this book, which is about basically how dangerous the wilderness is and how you could go missing in the forest. Is The Women of the Copper Country, which takes place in the UP. It doesn't take place in the part that I'm going to drive back. Well, then I had to admit that I've never read Rebecca, so I gave myself, my cousin did not give me this homework, I gave myself the homework of finishing Rebecca before our next family book club, so I also need to start some more little research. Weird Indiana. Weird Michigan.
Okay, so I'm only on chapter 3, but already like some of the themes, or not really themes, but things that are mentioned in this book are like the perfect timing for me to be reading them. So there's a lot of talk about nature so far and the forest in like kind of an ominous sort of way. And then also like the passage of time and stuff like that, which is interesting based on the book that I just finished, the new Emma Straub book. But yeah, I like the intro about like going back to Manderley. Is that what it's called? Yes, because like I often have dreams where I go back to this apartment complex I used to live in that was like an old like civic center that used to be offices and stuff, and they turned it into apartments. And I just think it's like real creepy that like there's a lot of repeating things in my dreams, but that's like a real place that comes back over and over and over in my dreams, or I go back to it. So I totally connect. Today was a wash as far as reading. So I slept in pretty late, and I think I woke up at like 9 or something. Definitely got really sick, and I think I scared my neighbor away because they left. And then I basically tried to fall asleep so that maybe my body would forget about the routine that was going on with it. And yeah, I ended up not even waking up until 3:45. You guys, I'm feeling cured today. I just went to the library, dropped off some books because I have way too many and I'm not going to be home for a while. And now I'm going to get some breakfast / lunch from the yoga studio so I can have my first meal be something nourishing. Okay, so I'm gonna sit outside and eat my lunch and read more of Rebecca, because this whole plan of like getting loads of reading done this week has not really worked out too well. But yesterday when I was feeling horrible and literally could only binge watch YouTube, I was rewatching like the 2021 favorites of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure that Sarah from Your True Shelf, I was slightly delirious when I was watching these, but I'm pretty sure she said that she read Rebecca last year and loved it. So we'll see what I think of it. Usually we agree, usually. Look at Edwin is growing tomatoes. Okay, I'm at my parents' house, ready to treat all my backpacking gear with, actually not all my gear, this is only my clothing, with permethrin, which is very toxic apparently. So I'm doing it at my parents' house. There you go. Also, this is my setup. We don't have a clothesline, so this is a dog's leash.
I thought you were saying that about me.
watching scary TV, so I'm gonna watch YouTube. Good morning. It is Thursday, I think, and there's been a brief change of plans, or not a brief change of plans, but a change of plans. So last night we celebrated Father's Day. The reason I ended up sleeping over at my parents' is because today I was gonna take my dad to a movie for his Father's Day gift. However, he's not feeling well. So I'm just gonna go to Meijer and grab some last minute stuff for backpacking and then head on home before I have a work meeting at 10:30. Good morning, it's Friday, and let me fill you in on my life, which is basically that I had huge intentions for this vlog and for what I was gonna accomplish this week. And to be fair, I've accomplished loads and loads, but not so much in reading. So basically the two most important things for me to do were to finish Rebecca, which my cousin said was amazing, and I promised her I would read it before book club, which is 2 days from now, which seems doable, except I have a lot going on. Then my other thing is we're reading, oh gosh, I don't even know what book it's called, but it is somewhere. Oh, The Women of Copper Country, or The Women of the Copper Country, which is about this lady in the UP union stuff. I don't really know. It's historical fiction. It's by Mary Doria Russell. I heard it's amazing, so we picked it for book club, which is on Sunday at 2:30, and I haven't read it. So, okay, I have all day today. Tomorrow I'm going to be very busy, but I'll have some time. Except that the new Riley Sager book just came in for me at the library, so I'm totally going to read that today. So I'm on my way to the library to pick it up. The library opens in 8 minutes. And then I am going to get myself breakfast at the yoga studio, which I should not spend money on, but I'm going backpacking in a hot second. And I want to make sure that I'm nourishing my body ahead of time with the healthiest food that's going to make me the strongest. And I feel like a nice lettuce wrappy sort of thing loaded with greens is going to be the ticket. So people take cruise ships to my town. Myra took my spot. I'm gonna have to go here. Amelia's in the tent. This book is different than I thought, so far anyway. I thought that it would maybe provide kind of an outline for what the crap I could do in my life, but it is more providing a history of why things are the way they are, how democracies have died in other countries, and maybe it will get to what we can do, but right now it's just kind of the history. So it's basically saying that things changed for Americans in 1968, that Robert Kennedy was assassinated, and this dude Humphrey won the nomination or whatever to run for president, essentially. And then there's a whole bunch of protesters, and once again the police made some bad decisions. So that was called, what they call it, the Michigan the Battle of Michigan Avenue. That was in Chicago. And basically, they kind of changed things in 1972, where basically the delegates would almost have to vote for whoever the states said should run for president. And that was a huge change. So that kind of made it so that these gatekeepers who were kind of in place to protect democracy were like circumvented, I guess, or like people could find their way around them. Hello guys, welcome to this cute view of me on the couch as I just talk about why I hated this book. It was just not the best day for me to read it. I thought that I would read this because I need to figure out how to act, not just about this issue, but just in general, because yeah, we need to be headed in a better direction, and I can't be complacent, and I've said that a million times, and nothing happens. Okay. I think I was looking into it to answer questions that it wasn't actually going to answer. It does give you the 4 ways a democracy dies, which are, number 1, a rejection of our a rejection of or weak commitment to democratic rules of the game. Number 2, denial of the legitimacy of political opponents. Number 3, toleration or encouragement of violence. Number 4, readiness to curtail civil liberties of opponents, including the media. When I'm about to bash the book, it's not really the book, it's just I'm in a bad mood today. You are talked to about all the different countries around the world that have experienced the death of democracy, as well as some that were about to experience it and then they fought it and things got better. You are also given specific examples as to how Trump showed those 4 qualifications or things that will lead to the death of a democracy, and how having even a single one of those is super concerning. And yet he had all 4 and loads of evidence for all 4. You could add so much more to this. I just got really grumpy, and I did skip chapters like 6, 7, 8 or something like that because I was over it. And I was sick of reading about other places and other things and all this history. Like, I just want to know what to do. That was my bad for looking to this for kind of the wrong reasons or things that it never really promised. The book talks a lot about mutual tolerance and institutional forbearance being the 2 things that we essentially have lost since Trump has become president. Basically, like, we can't play nicely with others. And I get where they're coming from. I get that our neighborhoods are more and more filled with only the people who are like us and who believe like us and all that stuff. Okay, maybe you can't talk about gay people because you don't want anyone to get upset with you. And you can't talk about Black Lives Matter because, that would be bad too. Like, I am struggling with how to decrease polarity and connect with people who are different from you while still, like, fighting for everyone to be loved for exactly who they are. I think that is something that means basically continuing the current status of who's in power. Because if you're temporarily ignoring, like, then you are maintaining, like, white, straight, male mindsets. Like, you have to, like, step on eggshells or... Oh, hang on. There's this one section that I wrote bad words in. Okay, so in the section that I skipped ahead to, where it's telling us, like, how to save democracy, because this was written in 2018, the authors, Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt, wrote, like, how this could go. So the first way it could go is Trump would lose power. Maybe he'd even be impeached once. Okay? That's the one way it could go. Then a second much darker future is one in which President Trump and the Republicans continue to win with white nationalist appeal. Under this scenario, a pro-Trump GOP would retain the presidency, both houses of Congress, and the vast majority of state houses, and it would eventually gain a solid majority in the Supreme Court. It would use the techniques of constitutional hardball to manufacture durable white electoral majorities. This would be done through a combination of large-scale deportation, immigration restrictions, the purging of voter rolls, the adoption of strict voter ID laws. Measures to re-engineer the electorate would be accompanied by elimination of filibuster and other rules that protect Senate minorities, so that Republicans could impose their agenda even with narrow majorities. These measures may appear extreme, but every one of them has been at least contemplated by the Trump administration. For a sense of how a crackdown might be framed, watch recent NRA recruitment videos or listen to how Republican politicians talk about Black Lives Matter. Such a scenario isn't likely. And then in the margin, I wrote, like, fuck, and today's date. Because, okay, Trump is not president, but his people are in power. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say, okay, yes, that is my revelation. That is why I'm talking to you people on the internet. So basically, nice white people for years have just, like, gotten along, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. Most of the Republicans were good people. But that's our perspective because we're just, like, white. Most of us are straight. I mean, like, we fit into what is wanted of us or the expectation or the norm or whatever. And I think it's because people are being like, hang on. Like, we want to love Black people too. We want to love brown people too. We want to love queer people too. That is what's causing all these Republicans to freak out and frantically be grasping for power. And so, like, I feel like we've tried that and it didn't work. So I just am trying to figure out the author's mindset and how that's different from what we've been doing that hasn't worked, and, like, what they want that to look like. Like, I guess I just want specific examples. So I'm not saying I hated this book. I'm just saying today was not the best day for me to read it.